Hey guys, I'm back. Another weekend here, another week gone by. Wow, we are moving. This week is going to be Friday. It's going to be the 1st of April. Wow, time's flying by. It's a beautiful Sunday. Oh, I'm sorry, Saturday. My brain's like mush right now. Beautiful Saturday. Everything's starting to bloom. Spring's in the air. We need some rain here in California, but it is a beautiful day. So out here in the garage working again. Thought I'd show you guys what's going on with this rear C-notch. Okay, so I think in my last video I showed you guys how the C-notch is working and all that good stuff. So I've got my little template put up here, traced everything around, have it set up, and this is how I attach everything, and then I run by with a paint pen. I'll do the same thing on this side, and then I'll put in a couple cuts. I'll flip the frame over, get some help from one of my neighbors, flip the frame over, and then cut it all out. Thanks to Brad, Montana Garage. I watched his video again this morning when he worked on his, and he explained down under here when the frame is flipped over, the C-notch is going to go in. There's going to be a gap right here, so you have to leave. When I cut this, I'm going to have to cut along an angle right here so I can flap part of this piece over. So this section right here, I'm going to flap it over, and that will end up meeting the notch, because the width of the notch is narrower than the rear of the frame right here. So that'll fit in there, and everything will go together, hopefully nice and clean. Okay, so just want to show you guys what was going on and how we're looking for this morning. I'm going to get to tracing the rest of the stuff out, and then I'll be back in a little bit. All right, guys, so here's one more check here. I'm going to get my tape measure out, hook it to my little all thread I've got going through there. There we go. And right here, 57 on center. So that's 57 on center. The other one, I measured multiple times. That's 57 on center. So got my little template marks in here. We're gonna cut right along here, and then got my template on this side. I'm gonna leave this part right here for that flap. Cut right along there. That gives me 1 inch and 3/16 to make up for the steel I put on the top. It's a 3/16 little piece of steel that I put right here, plate. And so that's 1 inch that I'm doing. I'm going to put a couple holes like this in, little holes to plug weld. I'm going to put some 3/16 on the inside to line each part of the inside to give it rigidity for the vertical movement. Make sure that it's really strong. This 1 inch piece of frame is going to be really stout when I'm done working on it. And then here is the other side here. I was going to cut this part of the frame out, just cut the exterior out because it's really thin metal, but I just figured, hey, why mess with it when it's already there, when I can reinforce it from the inside once I cut this out right here. So I'm going to do that, but I will I'll drill some holes in here so I can plug weld, so at least this outer skin of the frame is connected to the 3/16 on the inside. Got the 3/16 on the top, and then I believe that these guys are 3/16. These are the inserts. So this insert will go in the C-notch. Will go in just like this, right there, and we'll be good to go. You can see this one's laid out on that side right over there. It's laid out a little bit more. The angle's a little more because of the reverse eye. Okay, I talked to Brad at Montana Garage. He and I sent a couple of DMs back and forth, and I didn't even think about the reverse eye, so I'm going to make sure I might even lean it down a little bit more of an angle to make sure that those leaf springs aren't going to hit at all. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. Now that I've been looking at them, I like that CPP, instead of it just coming down nice and straight, these attachments, these braces from the top shackle, they bend them at an angle right here so that you have that lateral stability. Instead of it just being one plate straight down, you have the reinforcement of it, you know, coming down an angle, the geometry of it, and then having the 3/16 plate there. I think this is just it's gonna be super stout. All right, guys, well, that's what we're looking at, and I'm gonna get to drilling some holes and doing a little cutting, and then this evening my neighbor said he'd come over and help me flip the frame over, and so I'll get that done, and then hopefully this evening get more of it cut out and at least set in. And like I said, I might take these back and have them laid down just a little bit more in the front, add a little bit more of an angle to it, and yeah, then we should be good to go. All right, guys, I'll see you in a sec. Here we go. The frame's flipped, and I want you guys to see how the C-notch is going to go on. So this is where the C-notch is, and this is the reverse eye I was talking about. This is the regular eye sitting right there. Okay, see, it comes down this way, so it's going to give you more travel on the back end, whereas this one right here, okay, see, doesn't have as much travel because it's coming down. It's coming down this way, not the eye isn't coming down this way, right? So that's why I bent this down a little farther, and I was saying that I'm probably going to take it down a little bit more just to span it out this way so that I have more travel. It'll all be reinforced underneath and everything. So I just wanted to show you guys kind of what it's looking like, and yeah, so that's it. Next step, doing some cutting. All right, we'll show you guys later. Okay, it's the end of Saturday. I took a little bit of a break. Got to shuttle some of our FFA students up to Sacramento for the state convention. I gotta admit, guys, you might have good FFA chapters, but ours is the best. Our teachers and students, they are, yeah, phenomenal. Gotta brag. So, what else is going on? I'll show you guys what I've done. So here we go. It's not welded in, but I did do the cutty on that, and it's all cut in. These holes that I have here, I'll explain those in just a sec, but there we go. I cut it down. You guys can see. Now remember, the whole reason we're doing this is to gain more width for the tire. So this is what it looked like, right? So this was the shackle holder. So we moved it from there, from where it is sitting out here to under here, right? So leaf spring shackle holder went from outside, gives you all that extra space, more tire clearance, and good to go. So I think I told you guys before, Merrick was kind enough to put this guy in the press, bend it down a little bit. I'm gonna have to shave this just a little bit to bring it down, but it looks like I'm gonna clear. Did all this because of the reverse eye. Yeah. So thanks to Brad at Montana Garage. I went and watched his video again, and I left this little piece right here so that I can wrap it over. I know they talk about it in the instructions as well, but it's nice to see. I'm such a visual person. It's nice to see him go through that. Definitely give him credit's due. Plus, he's just doing a great job on his 55 Chevy. If you haven't gone and checked him out, or Hot Rodz builds, I know I always plug for them, but do that. 55 TwoTen. Last time, one of my other videos, I was trying to remember the type of package my dad's 55 Chevy when he was in high school had. It was the 150. It was a 150. So it was the businessman's coupe and so forth. So anyway, this is what we're looking like right now. I'm going to do, like I know I've said a bazillion times, right? I Tim Allen everything, or home improvement everything, go way above and beyond, which is wonderful. That's what I think you should do. But I mean, look at how thin this metal is here that they used. It just is too thin. So I've got some 3/16 that I used for this bottom plate. You guys saw in the other videos. So I've got extra. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it down. So I'll cut it so it's just this height right here. So it'll come right up here, one on each side, and it spans the length of this C-notch insert. Okay, and then the reason I put these holes in here is I'm going to plug weld this 3/16 to the original frame sheet metal. Not sheet metal, but the metal that they used. So that'll be there. And then what I'm going to do, this is where I'm doing a little extra here. I'm going to go in, I'll have these two, I'll have two 3/16 on each side, and then I'm going to put these, I'm going to put 3 of these little cross members, or at least 2 of them, to go from side to side to tie everything in. So those will go across here, and I'll either put 2 or 3 going across on the inside. I'll weld them down. I did have some 1/4-inch steel. I'll show you what that looks like here. One of my students was super kind, Merrick, to cut some of this for me. But it's so thick that I really think I'm going to distort by putting the amount of heat in to make these work. Turn this guy around here. The press just bends it out of shape a little bit. I just have to bend it back. But they're so much thicker, and the amount of heat I would need to put in here, I just think I'm going to end up warping the platform that I have for this guy, and it would throw this off, and I spent so much time getting that together. So I really appreciated that, and I'm sure I'll use them somewhere else. But so I'm just going to end up using the 3/16. I think that's going to be plenty, along with the 3/16 on the top. And then this is 3/16 as well that CPP does for their C-notch. So that'll fit right in there. Oops, turn it on this way. Fits just like that. There we go. So tomorrow I'll do some cutting and burning, and if all goes well, I think I'm going to be good to go. I'm still debating on if I want to have these ends pressed down just a little bit more, but it looks like once I have this end up here, it looks like it's going to, because this will come down just a little bit right here, and this will be flush. Because it's going to sway forward and down, this part right here of the leaf spring, the composite leaf spring, is this aluminum part is going to move forward, so that's actually going to be over here. That means that it would be this distance, the distance from here to here that we'd have to clear moving forward. And I think it's going to, because it's going to be moving on this arc right here as it's moving forward. As it compresses, it can't compress any more than the shackle is, therefore it'll just move forward. And I think that's going to give me plenty of clearance as it moves down and goes through the range of motion. So I think that's what I'm set at. I don't want to take it any farther down. I think 1 inch is the thinnest I can go. It'd be cool if I could go a little more. That would give it more travel. But I think that it's going to be fine. Oops, sorry guys. There we go. I think that it's going to be fine moving back and forth there. So that's what I have going on, guys. We've got everything set up. That's what we look like. Nice and in line. Everything lines up. I do have to put in, I'm putting in some washers because the distance on the outside, because this is CPP and this is RideTech, the spacing is going to be a little different, but those washers pull it in and everything's nice and snug and looks like it's lined up. It's not pinching in too much, and yeah, I think we are going to be good to go. Everything's going to be good. Dad can put some big meats behind this and we'll be golden. So as soon as I get this done, weld it in, I'm going to, and I'll do some sanding down, and still waiting on, one of my students is paying for his project to have him build a lot of people use them as shock bars, but I'm going to end up using them just as a bracing for the rear of his car going from side to side. So yeah, having that getting built. So as soon as that goes together, then the chassis is done. I can paint it all with chassis black, shoot it with VHT black roll-bar paint, and it's going to look like it was powder coated again. It's going to look ready to go. We've got engine for it, and everything's good.